And welcome back to America Right Now. I'm Tom Basili. We've got a whole lot more coming up in today's show. But first, let's check in with Sarah Williamson for the latest headlines. Sarah. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I've just been told that we're going to actually move on with our interview, and then we'll get to Sarah in a few minutes. All right. So we're big tech spying on America. Americans are, it's a pressing issue for all of us, right? We've all picked up one of these and discovered, hey, I feel like I'm being watched. I feel like I'm being tracked. It's actually happening. Recently, it was even discovered that even a Roomba vacuum robot was caught spying on a woman in her bathroom. Data breaches are happening frequently, but Americans are still surrendering their privacy at an alarming rate. And that's why big tech says they care about privacy. Many platforms need to snoop on you to make some money. So how can we protect ourselves? To discuss, we welcome back the CEO of Haven Video, tech and supply chain expert, Johnny Walker. Johnny, thank you for being here. It seems like this is happening all the time now. And it's not even like, you got some Russian hacker. Now it's like a high school kid who is performing these data breaches. And, it seems to be happening all the time. Talk to us about some of the ways that that big tech is watching.
Well, what a mess to start out with.
Yeah.
It's a complete mess. Zoom bombing is literally a slang term at this point in time.
That's right.
A bored high schooler can be like, hey, let's go Zoom bomb a meeting. And doesn't require some special training or secret agent. So now what's next? Roomba camming? There's no telling. One of the problems is these tech companies are so massive at this point that they have all kinds of apps that are using third parties that they need to use to do targeting advertisements. That's where it all starts from and stems from. Then it grew from there.
Yeah.
By introducing these third-party apps onto your phones, it opens the door to all, or to whomever, who knows, whether it be a bored high school or a Russian nationalist.
Yeah, I mean, but to some degree, it's negligence, right? We've thought that maybe when you see a data breach, it's negligence, but these companies, they need to actually track you. They need to collect this data because that's their business model. Talk to us about how they track us, how they monitor us on a day-to-day basis.
So they track us from those apps that we have on our phones on the day-to-day basis, and it's both negligence and kind of non-negligence. They're trapped themselves. We're trapped as Americans using this, but they have customers that they have contracts with that paid for that data, your data, my data, everybody's data.
Right.
For example, Zoom has a contract with a company called Five9, which is a cloud data collection call center. So America, you know who to thank for those robocalls.
Right. Now, but they're selling the data. All right.
Yes.
So they're tracking the locations.
Yes.
They're monitoring your conversations. They're actually listening in on your conversations, and they're tracking your purchases in order to then take that and to sell it.
Exactly, into third parties. And then on top of that, they're also bound by these large institutional investors. Rightfully so, they need to get ROIs. So they have contracts with both these already third-party data collection companies, and they also have to provide ROI for the investors like Vanguard and ARK and BlackRock, and et cetera.
That's right.
The Morgan Stanleys of the world.
All right, so when they're listening to my conversation on Zoom or through a phone, they're selling the data. A lot of Americans feel like they're trapped. They say, I can't, what can I do about this? I need to use my phone, but how do I prevent them from listening? How do I prevent or protect myself from from these issues? And you developed a product that helps deal with some of these concerns, but your company is more of an exception rather than the rule. So give us a sense of how you can help stop big tech snooping.
So we need to take responsibility not only for ourselves, but for each other's as Americans. First, look for other companies like our company that does third-party free end-to-end encrypted. Make sure it's end-to-end.
What does that mean? Just end-to-end encryption, what does that mean?
End-to-end encryption means that when we speak to each other or we communicate with each other, it's encrypted, meaning the file cannot be seen at the time.
Okay.
And on the other side, it can't be seen, but it can be identified by us.
Okay, what else?
The other thing I would definitely recommend is read those statements, read those 5 prints. Literally on Zoom's website, it says any third party may see or use what you share on their platform. So actually read the fine print. Search out other companies that are third party free, encrypted end to end. And on the other side, encourage certain government officials to try to push legislation through to have some way to protect the American people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to have companies that really prioritize personal security, and that really is going to require changing the business model to some degree for some of these companies or new companies coming into the marketplace that are going to make it a priority.
Exactly. Unfortunately, these large big tech, like we mentioned before, they already have contracts, so there's no reinventing the wheel for them. They're kind of stuck in the position that they're in, and that opens the door for everything from government taking advantage of the same loopholes.
Right, and we saw that with Google and the Massachusetts lawsuit where they were tracking phones allegedly illegally to track COVID information. We're going to continue to have this conversation because it's a very significant problem. If you don't have privacy, you don't have freedom. Johnny Walker, CEO of Haven Video. Thank you very much.
Thank you for